Yes, I have empty memory cards and upload. That's me. And I took the light off because it's 1 AM in the night. But we have just this bay on Bengali. Just like to record that. The Bengal Bay, we have to cross that, so we still have 2 hours left. So I will charge the camcorder. Here we have this bay, but this airline that flies super fast. Ground speed is like 900 kilometers, 860, so just 20 minutes. 20 minutes you have fly like 160 kilometers or 170 kilometers. So this airline move really fast. So, but that's the Bay of Bengal. Bay of Bengal. So, but I just put the view there. So that's a bay. You have to fly over there, but that's not take so long time if you're airliner. I don't know how many, it's 300 kilometers, 300 or 400. I don't know how much, but that's only like 40 minutes or something like that. That will not take so long time. There. But I don't know if you should read a bit more. Could read about a little bit more this Thailand. Now I have the, let's do that, then I can look Thailand, then continue.
1347-1368. To the north, Mangrai, who descended from a local ruler lineage of Ngoan Yuan, founded the Kingdom of Lan Na in 1292, centered in Chiang Mai. He unified the surrounding area and his dynasty would rule the kingdom continuously for the next 2 centuries. He also created a network of statist rough political alliances to the east and north of the Mekong. 22.8 while in port in Lower Kelofre Basin, a federation around Phetchaburi, Suphanburi, Lopburi, and the Ayutthaya area was created in the 11th century. 22.8 Ayutthaya Kingdom. Ayutthaya Kingdom. Ayutthaya and Naval c. 1540 CE. What precise Unfet Ayutthaya Historical Park. Siamese Embassy to Louis XIV. In 1686, a painting by Nicolas III de Lamassin. According to the most widely accepted version of its origin, the Ayutthaya Kingdom rose from the earlier, nearby Lavo Kingdom and Suvarnabhumi with Uthong as its first king. Ayutthaya was a patchwork of self-governing principalities and tributary provinces owing allegiance to the king of Ayutthaya under the Mandala system. 355 Its initial expansion was through conquest and political marriage. Before the end of the 15th century, Ayutthaya invaded the Khmer Empire 3 times and sacked its capital Angkor. 26 Ayutthaya then became a regional power in place of the Khmer. Constant interference of Sukhothai effectively made it a vassal state of Ayutthaya and it was finally incorporated into the kingdom. Baron Maitreya Kannad brought about bureaucratic reforms which lasted into the 20th century and created a system of social hierarchy called Sakdina, where male commoners were conscripted as Corvée laborers for 6 months a year. 107 Ayutthaya was interested in the Malay Peninsula, but failed to conquer the Malacca Sultanate which was supported by the Chinese Ming dynasty. 11. 13 European contact and trade started in the early 16th century, with the envoy of Portuguese Duke Afonso de Albuquerque in 1511. Portugal became an allied and ceded some soldiers to King Rama Thibodi II.34. The Portuguese were followed in the 17th century by the French, Dutch, and English. Rivalry for supremacy over Chiang Mai and the Mon people pitted Ayutthaya against the Burmese kingdom. Several wars with its ruling dynasty Taungoo dynasty starting in the 1540s in the reign of Tabinchweti and Bayanongri ultimately ended with the capture of the capital in 1570.33. 146-7 Then was a brief period of vassalage to Burma until Naresuan proclaimed independence in 1584.22. 11 Ayutthaya then sought to improve relations with European powers for many successive reigns. The kingdom especially prospered during cosmopolitan Narai's reign, 1656-1688, when some European travelers regarded Ayutthaya as a nation great power, alongside China and India. 24-9 However, growing French influence later in his reign was met with nationalist sentiment and led eventually to the Siamese Revolution of 1688.33. 185-6 However, overall relations remained stable, with French missionaries still active in preaching Christianity. 33. 186 After a bloody period of dynastic struggle, Ayutthaya entered into what has been called the Siamese Golden Age, a relatively peaceful episode in the second quarter of the 18th century when art, literature, and learning flourished. There were seldom foreign wars, apart from conflict with the Nguyen lords for control of Cambodia starting around 1715. The last 50 years of the kingdom witnessed bloody succession crises, where there were purges of court officials and able generals for many consecutive reigns. In 1765, a combined 40,000 strong force of Burmese armies invaded it from the north and west. 35. 250 The Burmese under the new Alongpaya dynasty quickly rose to become a new local power by 1759. After a 14-month siege, the capital city's walls fell and the city was burned in April 1767. 36. 218 Thonburi Kingdom. Taksin the Great enthroned himself as a King in 1767. The capital and much territories lied in chaos after the war. The former capital was occupied by the Burmese garrison army and 5 local leaders declared themselves overlords, including the lords of Sakwangberry, Phitsanulok, Pimai, Chanthaburi and Nakhon Sai Tamarat. Keotak, a capable military leader, proceeded to make himself a lord by right of conquest, beginning with the legendary sack of Chanthaburi. Based at Chanthaburi, Keotak raised troops and resources, and sent a fleet up the Keo Frere to take the fort of Thonburi. In the same year Keotak was able to retake Ayutthaya from the Burmese only 7 months after the fall of the city. 37. Keotak then crowned himself as Taksin and proclaimed Thonburi as temporary capital in the same year. He also quickly subdued the other warlords. His forces engaged in wars with Burma, Laos, and Cambodia, which successfully drove the Burmese out of Lan Na in 1775. 33. 225 captured Vientiane in 1778. 33. 227 and tried to install a pro-King in Cambodia in the 1770s. In his final years there was a coup, caused supposedly by his insanity, and eventually Taksin and his sons were executed by his longtime companion General Keo Frere Chakri, the future Rama I.
Yes, break. Need to charge the camcorder. So F11. Yes, just follow to we are like in Burma, around there. It's 1:10 in the night. That's me, yes, hello.